Getting the page ready.
See if I can get this a little better here. There we go.
Yeah. All right. You got it on your end.
Yep.
All right. There we go. All right. Let me go ahead and get started. I'm super excited. Let me give people a few more minutes to get in um, as well. All right. So, welcome, guest. Welcome to Wanda Jacobs. Welcome to the Facebook Live portion of the podcast, Foster My Stories. So, let me go ahead and get started. This is now 10 o'clock. And hello, gracefully chosen community, and welcome to Foster My Stories, the achievement focused podcast for foster care, adoption, orphan, inclusive of underserved communities. I'm your host, Shalina Michelle Tate, and on today's cast episode, I would like for you to get to know my featured special guest for August, former foster care trauma survivor, Mr. Danny Vann. Aside from being an author and a speaker and a community leader, Danny is the founder of Danny is a active community leader and looking to really educate you, the listeners, the viewers, on the subject matter dealing with trauma as it relates to uh, our relative foster, adoption, orphan, and underserved communities, or just you as a person as a whole. Danny, how are you doing today?
Good. I am doing well and just really thrilled to be here and be part of this broadcast. Thank you.
No problem. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know it's kind of early for some people. I'm in the Eastern time zone, but I appreciate you hopping on and being able to listen, viewers, and for you, Danny, for being able to join. Okay, well, could you please define what is trauma for the viewers that may be listening that do not know what specifically what trauma is? What is trauma?
Well, trauma is dealing with a situation where you have either felt like your life was threatened or you've seen someone else in a situation where their life was threatened, whether you were directly involved with it or not. The problem is that for many of us, especially those that have come through the child welfare system or those that have come from not only dysfunctional homes, broken homes, single parent homes, we've been through abuse or neglect at a very early age, some even in the first few months of life, where you don't remember
Mhm.
what actually happened to you, but your subconscious mind
Yeah.
carries that with you for life. And so, for example, I don't remember what caused this,
Yeah.
but all of my life, when I hear sharp sounds like a crash or a bang or whatever, I jump out of my skin, and to this day I don't know why.
Oh,
Right? I
yeah.
just have to remind myself, okay, it's no big deal. Identify what caused the noise,
Yeah.
and let it go. Calm down.
Yeah.
But we have these triggers, and some people it's a sense of smell. With some people, it's other incidents that just all of a sudden something comes over you and you just feel like, wow, I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable. I need to get out of this situation. Am I safe? These are all trauma related triggers
Yeah.
that people deal with. And so that's the onset. Now, I will tell you that from his book, and I'll just cite this because I want to be really thorough. The
Yeah.
Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. Uh, he says that research by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has shown that 1 in 5 Americans, 1 in 5, that's like 20%,
Yeah.
was sexually molested as a child
Oh
or
gosh.
1 in 4 was beaten by a parent to the point of a mark being left on their body.
Yeah.
The welts, the bruises,
Yeah.
the limping leg because the muscle got cramped or something.
Yeah.
We had that in our household when I was growing up, and we thought it was normal. You
Yeah.
know, um, 1 in 3 couples engages in physical violence. A quarter of us grew up with alcoholic relatives, and 1 in 8 of us has witnessed their mother being beaten or hit. You know,
Yeah.
and so those are traumatic events.
Yes.
And unfortunately, they're all too normal in again 20% of America.
Yeah.
It's normal. And
Yeah.
so we're here to identify that and to let you know that those people that are out there that are acting and reacting in ways that don't seem normal to a lot of the world, it's because of that underlying trauma.
Yeah.
And so we're here to kind of demystify that, bring it to the surface. And to quote Bruce Duncan Perry and Oprah Winfrey, it's not about what's wrong with you. It's more the question should be, what happened to you that has caused you to act this way in these
Yeah.
circumstances? That's what we need to be starting to look at.
Yes. And Danny, thank you so much for defining that, defining trauma as it relates. And I was just talking to one of our fellow leaders, Mandy Lemon, who touched on the subject of PTSD, um,
Yes.
and definitely, if you know, would you could you share from that perspective as well? Because I feel that both those relate, um, from
Yes.
forms of trauma.
They really do. They're interchanged like breathing and eating.
Yeah,
We need to do both. And when you get into a trauma situation, a lot of times PTSD isn't too far behind.
yeah,
I'm going to quote from the government, the PTSD National Center for PTSD.
okay,
Um, you know what it says is that 6 out of 10 Americans, men, 60% of men, and 5 out of 10 women, right? 50% of women
yeah,
have experienced at least one traumatic event in their lives.
wow,
So that's a lot of adults. It's a lot
yeah,
of people.
yeah,
Women are more likely to have sexual assault or child sexual abuse.
yeah,
Men are more likely to experience accidents, physical assault,
yeah,
combat, disaster, or witness death or injury.
yeah,
But PTSD can happen to anybody, and it's not a weakness, right? It's there's a number of things that increase the chance that you can get it, and a lot of them aren't under your control. That, like I said earlier, it's if you're in the presence of physical violence, whether you or someone that you care about, their life is threatened, or you feel like their life is threatened, that's trauma, and it can go into PTSD. Um, let's see, I'm just quoting more stats here.
yeah,
But the point is that the PTSD part of it is that it causes you to be in a flight or fight survival mode.
yes,
You don't think clearly when you go into this traumatic survival mode. The brain naturally shuts the thinking part down so
mhm,
that it can use its energy for survival.
yes,
And it happens with youth. It
yeah,
happens with kids, teenagers, adults, with all of us. It's just the
yes,
way our body works. And so you're in this traumatic syndrome where you're constantly, depending on how often you're traumatized, and if you were traumatized, between the ages of birth to 6 years old, if you
yeah,
experience trauma, it interrupts the wiring in your brain.
yeah,
You weren't nurtured. You didn't feel safe. You didn't feel stable. All these things have you doubting and mistrusting circumstances, mistrusting people. If you've been through kinship care, child
mhm,
welfare, court appointed, housing and stuff like that, you don't have stability, and so
yes,
you're constantly in survival mode, and your body reacts to that and wears out to that, and things irritate you easily. I mean, folks, I've think about what it was like when you were in the lockdown during the COVID. How did people feel?
Yeah.
They got stressed. Their cycles got messed up. Their activities got messed up. Look at all the chaos it caused. Well, imagine being a young person, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, even 12 years old, and having your whole world ripped away from you, not knowing if it will ever go back to the way
Yeah.
it was. At least in COVID, we all had that hope. It's going to pass. We'll get back to normal. Things will be normal with us again. Well, that's not the case if
Yeah.
you go through foster care or adoption, or you lose parents, or whatever the case. And so you're in this lifelong survival mode, even if you don't consciously push yourself into it. It's the back of your mind is always
Yes.
going, when's the other shoe going to drop? When's this going to fall apart? When's the next chaos or the next crisis going to happen? And it wears you out, and it causes you to not be able to function, or function well.
That's so true, Danny.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for expounding on that. And you're right. Definitely with youth, is a bigger factor as well. You already mentioned it. Definitely the social services, adoption, orphan, any really anyone who's been in a survival situation, and then more recently for a lot of people having to be home and then quarantined and locked down,
Hmm.
and the daily routine disrupted. That kind of sent a lot of people over the edge, unfortunately, and
Sure.
even now it's not really. And I agree with you. I don't really believe we're going to ever have like a normal. Um, it won't go back to the way it was, but
Right.
the thing is, we can at least try to support each other in progressing towards just healthy recovery, a progression, really support and resources.
There's two words that come into that, and that's a great segue,
Okay.
Shalina, into where we want to go with this discussion.
Yeah.
So the two words that come with that support that you're talking about, is called compassion, and
Yes.
it's also called empathy.
Yes.
Now that people have been through the lockdown,
Yeah.
hopefully they can have a little better understanding of what folks go through, that are
Go through.
torn from their homes, that are put into
Yeah.
strange homes, group homes, kinship care,
Hmm.
whatever the case may be. And you know what? People are going to be angry. People are going to be sad. They're going to be depressed. They're going to be frustrated, right?
Yes.
It isn't fair. Why is this happening? What did I do to cause it? Is
Yeah.
what children think,
Yeah.
and they blame themselves. And that goes on for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So, how do we help them through that? Well, we listen.
Yes.
We take time to ask them what happened to you. And you can't always be that direct.
Of
If
course.
something, if you notice there's something going on, you may just say, "What's this all about?"
Yes.
Do you feel like sharing? Would you like to share that with me? I'd like to understand more so that I can help you if I can. And maybe helping you is just listening. Maybe
Yes.
it's just letting you get it out. Um, I wear the hashtag encourage because I wrote a new book called 99 Days of 100%
Yes.
Encouragement. And it has quotes from just dozens and dozens of very face, uh, faithful, meaningful, inspiring people,
Yes.
like Bruce Duncan Perry and Bessel van der Kolk and Mark Twain
Yeah.
and Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, Gordie Howe, the hockey player. I put all kinds of various quotes. Of course,
Yeah.
probably about 50% of the quotes are from me and my life experiences. But I'm here to help bring that out, to draw that out, and to take people that have moments or have life situations. Dr. John DeGarmo wrote the foreword for the book, and he
Yes.
endorsed it. And one of the things he said about it is he's excited because it offers so many life lessons
Yes.
for people, children, and adults. There's a lot of life lessons in this book, 99 Days of 100% Encouragement. So we could all use attention. We can all use encouragement. We could all use those moments where someone comes alongside of you and says, you know what? That happened to me too.
Yeah.
Here's what I did. I'm
Yeah.
not telling you what to do, but
Yeah.
here's how I handled it. And this is what I learned from it. Right. And
Yes.
that's kind of where this book is coming from.
Yes, Danny. Thank you for sharing that. I'm super excited for listeners and viewers to be able to engage with you even more. Especially, I love that shirt, your hashtag. Yeah,
Thank
your
you.
hashtag, you're welcome. Your hashtag encouraged, which is really a reminder, a frontal reminder for us to stay encouraged, stay hopeful. Sometimes putting those quotes in before our eyes is necessary. Like I have a list on my wall right now of just inspirational scriptures or whatnot, but
Mhm.
just different things to kind of help us throughout the day because
Yes,
sometimes we need those reminders that, hey, you're not
absolutely.
alone. Yeah, you're not alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Danny, I'm super excited. Well, before I get into that, the book, 'cause I'm coming to that soon.
Mhm.
Yeah, so tell viewers, listeners, what for you, um, and you don't have to go into, you know, deep explanation or anything, but just share with us some life wins that kind of helped you overcome your past. Did you grow up in foster care? What was your story?
Well, my parents got divorced. My mother got pregnant when she was 15.
Okay.
I was born when she was 16.
Yeah.
By the time she was 22, she had 6 kids,
Yeah.
and by the time she was 30, she was divorced.
Okay.
It didn't go well. That was back in the 60s. Mom got the house and the kids,
Yeah.
but didn't have the job to go with it to support everything.
Yeah.
She did get alimony or child support, I guess, but it didn't bear well, and so we wound up being farmed out to relatives, which they call kinship care now. And we went through a cycle of going to relatives and coming back to mom's because she wasn't able to handle things.
Yeah.
And then she dropped us off at a group home, St. Vincent's Home in Saginaw, Michigan. It's orphanage or group home. Today they call them group homes. And we were there for like a year, year and a half, and then went into foster care. And I
Okay.
was in foster care for a couple of years until my dad rescued us. I want to say rescue, reunified.
Yeah.
The problem back then was they didn't put him through anger management training
Yeah.
or alcohol abuse training or anything like that. So he was the violent one.
Yeah.
So he's the one that got us. And I mean, he had a good job. He got the house restored because our house had been condemned
Yeah.
when mom had it. And so he restored the house. We went back and he married his alcohol drinking buddy from the Wonder Bar.
Yeah.
She was our nanny and they got married. And when she got drunk, she was mean
Yeah.
and antagonized him. And so it was worse than it was before the
Yeah.
divorce.
Yeah.
So we went through all that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so yes, I spent time in care. Um, been there, kept in touch with some of the people I met at the group home, and
Yeah.
I did go back years later and meet up with my foster parents and thank them,
Yeah.
and showed them what I had done with my life,
Yeah.
which was helpful that they were there. So for me, it wasn't a bad experience. For a couple of my siblings, they had some bad experiences, so I can relate to that as well. So
Yeah.
but
I, yeah.
but I was able, to uh, because my passion was music and
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
My mother's mother, my maternal grandmother, had inspired me into
Yeah.
the Catholic Church. We went to catechism and I learned the commandments and all that, and so I lived that, and that helped me. It helped me tremendously to be honest and to stay close to God and
Yeah.
my music. Those were the things, my passion, and I
Yeah.
encourage people, find your passion
Yeah.
and put your energy in that instead of fighting the world.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Danny, just for even being transparent about that. Um, I know that your testimony can really help a lot of people, especially the male population who has gone through traumatic events and may have
Yeah.
relate as far as placements and orphanages who kind of need a mentor to talk to. So, listeners, if you're viewers, if you're listening, if you know of anyone, especially some youth and some males that can kind of need a listening ear, um,
Yeah.
please send them to Danny. Send them to Danny's way because, and I highly recommend him as well. He will be
Yeah.
able to speak to them right where they are, and that's what's
Right.
yeah. And so, Danny, thank you for sharing.
They
It
can reach me. They can reach me at dannyvan.com, by the way,
okay.
and they can. I have emails and I've got videos.
Yeah.
I have my Aging Out Academy, which is on YouTube,
Yes.
and you can find me there as well under Danny Vann, former foster, and you'll see that I've done some videos, and they're 2 to 3 4-minute videos
Okay.
that just give you a quick lesson, a quick pop. I've been recording the 99 days as well, so
Awesome.
I've got a bunch of those out there, and I'll be recording more of those as in the
That's
future.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So it sounds like you're doing an audio book, like a live audio book progression.
it's a little different. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's really good. And listeners, viewers, Danny Vann, last name with two N's. So make
right.
sure you visit him,
dannyvan.com. Yep,
dannyvan.com. There you will find a lot of his products, his services, especially the academy, the Aging Out Academy that he spoke about.
right.
Could you touch on that aging out process briefly, Danny, in relation to trauma? Because we know being formers, just even transitioning out, how difficult that could be for a lot of individuals who've gone through trauma, maybe PTSD. They they're coming out of uh, well, a sense of having some sort of stability.
Yep.
Right now, going back into like a big world, what advice would you give them? What can you speak about that?
The most important thing I can tell you is to prepare for independence.
Hmm.
Don't wait until you're 18 or 20 and then
Yeah.
just think that you can run back to your bio family or run out into the world and conquer the world.
Hmm.
I unfortunately did a couple of those things and found out they didn't work too well. And I have a book about that as well. I wrote my first book. I wrote is my memoir, My Journey in the Shadow of the King.
Yeah.
But the thing that I would encourage you to do is uh, do some me work. I don't call it homework. I call it me work. Work on yourself. Learn the things, find the things that you need to learn. And there's all kinds of programs now. This is the thing too. Back in the, I emancipated out at 17
Okay.
in 1970, and there weren't a lot of programs back then. I was unaware of anything, in
Yeah.
fact. But now there's just dozens and dozens of programs and organizations and charitable organizations that want to help you. And that's the other thing that's on my website is I got dozens and dozens of free resources. In
Yeah.
fact, I have a free survivor ebook that's on my website that you can go to, and it gives you some of those steps
Yeah.
on how to maybe you don't know what you want to be
Yeah.
in life, so I've got free career assessment
Yes.
website links where you can go and in 5 minutes answer some questions, and it gives you some ideas what your natural gifts are, what your
Yeah.
abilities are, and it'll try to help you. So I
Um,
would just say prepare,
yeah.
ask for help, look for help, come to people like myself or Shalene or some of the other organizations, ifoster.org.
Yeah.
Get a mentor if you can. UCU.org,
Yeah.
YOUSEEYOU.org has free mentoring for life, no
Yeah.
matter what your age is. So if you're an aged out and you didn't get some of the help you wish you had, you
Yeah.
still can, and it's free.
Yes.
So check out my website. I got a lot of that there. So that's what I would say.
Yes. Yes. 2 points. And I'm getting excited over here because of just, just visualizing two things you said, Danny referenced. yes, listeners, viewers, please go check out those resources that Danny's speaking of. He
Yeah,
definitely has a wealth of knowledge as far as these resources and how to kind of help you get situated or someone you know. You may know of kinship care placement or a foster parent or a potential that's looking for these types of resources. So please feel free to connect with Danny further on that. His
yeah,
website, dannyvan.com. Visit those resources and see how those resources can help you. I know when I was aging out, um, at the last minute, I heard that we had a aging out mentor. A lot of youth right now don't really know those resources
yeah.
afforded to them, and they kind of
Right.
wander around not really
Yeah.
knowing how to age.
Homeless.
Homeless,
Homeless.
yeah,
Yeah.
homeless, and unfortunately fall into the statistics of jail, teen pregnancy, runaway, drugs,
I
and
have 5 resources to help you with homelessness as well,
um,
right on the website. So,
oh yes.
and
So you,
Shalina, before we get too deep, can we show a page from the book
yes, yes, yes. Go ahead.
on that
Could you
encouragement?
share your?
I shared it, so you
Oh
should be
yeah.
able to pull it up.
Okay, let me add it
Let's
now.
see.
There we go.
Where did it go? Why
Okay. Do
is
you?
it not there? It's right there.
Okay. There we
This
go.
is okay. So this is the first day of 99 days of 100% encouragement, and it's giving you a positive message, and it gives you this beautiful high definition graphic. There's only one you in the entire universe. There's nobody else exactly like you. You are unique, right? And
Yes.
then every day I give you a say it and share it exercise. So
Yes.
you to help encourage yourself, I recommend that you stand in front of a mirror
Yeah.
and look at yourself and say, I am unique.
Yeah.
I am unique, right? I'm
Affirmation.
unique. And then as you're going out to the world and spending your day, go ahead and tell people, you know what I learned today? There's nobody else just like me, and
Right.
that's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so there's all kinds of stuff here. I also, day 2, you're just in time.
Yeah.
Some flowers are late bloomers. So hope grows slowly in traumatized youth. I can do it. It's never too late. And so I also put some stories in there. Here's a story about Simone Biles, who was in foster care,
No.
who made it to the World Olympics and was
Yeah.
very, just recently. People do care about you. You do matter. Never stop dreaming, right? I had positive people that helped me reach my dream, and I want to be there for you. This book proves somebody cares about you. I'm important. Say it. I'm important. I can reach my dream. And there's so many more. Just more,
Nice.
quote after quote, picture after picture, and just a lot of. In fact, Dr. John DeGarmo's quoted in here too.
Yeah.
So we made sure to give him a quote. So that's I'm going to stop sharing because I know we don't want to do the whole thing. But the book is available on my website or on Amazon. It's on Goodreads.
Yeah.
And if you order it from my website, I'll send you a signed copy.
Yes.
And the last thing is that if you're a nonprofit organization or you work for one and you'd like to have these books as a tool because they're very encouraging,
Yeah.
the Just in Time for Foster Youth organization in San Diego, California, serves 1,200
Yeah.
foster youth a year. And they bought 600 copies of this book
Wow.
because the CEO was so impressed and called it transformational that they
Yes.
could work with people and pull up different topics and share just a picture and a few words, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a nonprofit or if you're a person that works with youth,
Yeah.
I would be willing to work with you on a bulk discount. You
Yeah.
can get to that on my website. There's a form, or you can email me and ask about it. And I'm talking
Yeah.
substantial 50 to 70% off the retail price because I really want to help. I
Yeah.
want to help youth and I want to help people that are dealing with their lifelong trauma issues.
Yes, Danny, thank you so much for sharing those dynamic pictures. And listeners, viewers, please support Danny and what he's doing. If you are associated with maybe a college or higher education, this could definitely be maybe like a learning curriculum that you can partner with Danny on to get
Right.
his resources in your in your class for the youth, for the learners. Um, Definitely, I know there's some technical colleges that go into social work, maybe some
Hmm.
universities that
Hmm.
can really use this encouragement, especially early childhood education. I think would be phenomenal to pair with you, Daniel, on this.
And it's
And
good for the staff too. It's good for
yeah,
the
the staff,
adults,
yeah,
because we can you're dealing with negativity all the time. You could use
yeah,
some encouragement. So
yes.
it's a good thing to have in your office.
Yes, it's definitely for anyone, any age, to know to have those affirmations. And thank you for
Yes.
reminding us of those, Danny, because
Yeah.
sometimes we do need to hear them.
Yeah.
We do need we get lifted. Prime example of that. Um, just encouraging the youth years ago at a K-5. They were kind of down. They was kind of getting talked over, talked at,
Yeah.
just coming in and saying, "Hey, you got this. You can do this." They perked up. So that's just a quick example of sometimes you have to set the atmosphere that you want to see. Um, Listeners and viewers, if you want to go ahead and place any questions and comments for Danny, I'm going to read some that I see now, but feel free to do so. I'm going to go down the list of any questions you have, brainstorm those questions, anything, any resources, or any comments. If you want to share how you relate to trauma, or if you know someone, or if any comments you want to make. One viewer said, like your comparison with lockdown and what fosters go through, relatable, good highlight on need for open dialogue and coming from a stance of understanding the reasons for behaviors and reactiveness. That is
Hmm.
so true. One of our other leaders, um, Cheryl Williams, also noted, like you did, as far as traumas, is not necessarily always okay. This youth is bad, this kid is bad, but if they've come from traumatic situations, I've said this before, they're not always going to be able to give their best in a school setting or any kind of setting. And unfortunately, these youth, and I know from my past, they'll get remedial and medicated and isolated and labeled behavior, and it's not that's not necessarily what they're needing help in. Is
Right.
more yeah,
They're
it's a
trying to make it go away instead of
yeah,
dealing with it and
yeah,
bringing it up and working through it.
yeah,
You run into that proverbial brick wall behind me,
yeah,
and you need help getting around it, going through it, going over it. But a lot of times, especially with youth, they can't do it on their own. They need help.
yes.
So just suppressing them is not helping them.
No, no, it's not.
No,
And
no.
I know there's a population that feels that's the only way, but I beg to differ. I feel there's other ways as well. Once again, Danny, your resources that you named can just be the difference of somebody finding it and being able to utilize it and find encouragement and hope in it. So, yes,
Yes,
Danny. Well, once again, you did say that people can purchase your products, your services over at dannyvan.com. You
that's right.
also mentioned, yes, you also mentioned your academy. Could you share with people, the listeners, the name of your academy once again? And you said YouTube. What's the name of your academy?
Yep, it's called Aging Out Academy, and it is on YouTube under Danny Vann, former Foster.
Okay.
So
Is that for, and that's hyphenated for you, former foster?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It'll find it whether you put the hyphen in or not.
Okay.
It looks on all the words, or
Okay.
you can get to it directly from my website as well, because I do
Okay.
have it. I do have it there. I see a
That's,
question out here.
yeah. Yeah, I was
Oh,
about to read it.
go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah,
How can foster families support kids in transitioning out? A great question right there.
that is a great question, and it takes some time and effort.
Yeah.
Uh, most states, I don't know what state the the person is in, but most states have youth in transition programs. I know here in Michigan we do. I know they got them in Wisconsin, Texas. I mean, most states have them now, and so you could reach out either through your caseworker or through your DPS, and they will put you in touch with that program. Again, I put up a free ebook, which you can go snag a copy of. It's a PDF on my website. It's called the um, Foster Youth Survival basics, I call it. I didn't want to call it a
Yes.
survival guide, but it's survivor basics, and it talks about those things. But just doing the common sense thing as well,
Yeah.
helping them get their ID, their state ID, their driver's license,
Yeah.
helping them understand money, set up a savings account.
Yeah.
There's even one train of thought that our leaders were talking about here this past week about saving 1 or 2% of the stipend that you get and put it into a savings account. And so
Yes.
when they transition out, you can give them a few $100s or $1,000 or whatever
Yes.
to help them get that car or get started in life.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the other thing is there's a ton of free resources, and I do have them on my website. There's foster closets, there's grants, there's all kinds of stuff that if you do a little digging and do a little searching, you can find some resources to help them with that. Hope that
Yes.
helps.
Yes, that definitely helps a great deal, Danny. And yes, viewers, listeners, please check out his resources once again on his website. Coming to mind as well, Mandy Lemon, who is another leader in our group, um, who mentioned that financial, she has expertise in finance and was mentioning about the stipend and really
Yes,
having
she's the
saving.
one that brought it up. Thank you. I couldn't
Oh, no,
remember which one brought it up.
yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, just being able to help them there, and especially with money management, I think it's very important. Especially because a lot of youth transitioning, they've always had taking stuff taken from them. So to learn the value of how to you know save, which will be great. Right here in South Carolina, there is the South Carolina Foster Parent Association. I'm not sure. I know it's throughout the state. They may have a similar program in your state, but like Danny said, you will have to check with the local social service. But
And
then,
let's not forget our good friend Dr. John DeGarmo, who has a foster parent help and support group.
yes,
And there's over 31,000, almost 32,000 people on that Facebook page, Foster Parent Help and Support Group. Dr. John DeGarmo from the Foster Care Institute. I
yes,
mean, his resources are just incredible.
yes,
He was a mentor of mine at one time. So
mine too. Yeah.
yes, yeah, he's got a great place there to get ideas and help.
Yes, and once again, yes, thank you so much for that, Danny. The foster parent help and support group, both myself and Danny, we help on that page. Great, great, great resource there. You can talk to aspiring kinship care parents, foster parents, those who are seasoned. Definitely Dr.
Caseworkers, all kinds of people on
Workers.
there to give you ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that can help you right where you are, or at least guide you to the right connection to help you as well. Um, Danny, do you have any other upcoming projects that you're working on that you'd like to share with the listeners?
I do. I'm in the process of creating a nonprofit myself,
Yes,
and it's an encouraging nonprofit, but the name of it is Helping Other People Endure,
yes,
HOPE, and it also will have a heart where the O is in hope, and it's I mentioned it on my website, but the concept that I have there is to bring people from all different facets of supporting
yeah,
youth and traumatized individuals to come together and to be able to be that resource to help them find whatever they need to help them through their journey. So helping other people endure is going to be a resource point for all the people that are trying to support the youth or the aged out youth or traumatized people. So it's kind of sort of what I'm doing with my website, but we're going to go to an official nonprofit and start trying to draw in resources
yeah,
and organizations and funding
yeah,
to help people with different aspects of their journey.
yes,
So it's called Hope, HOPE, helping other people endure, and hopefully we'll get it fired up here in the next 3 to 6 months.
yeah,
It's a process.
yeah. Thank you so much for that, Danny. And that already pairs. dynamically with your service. Your
Yes.
hashtag encouraged, because that's really
Yeah.
what it is. In order to have hope, you need to be encouraged to have
Yeah.
hope. So
Yeah.
I think that pairs great, a great message to kind of just let people know that hey, you have support here right where you
And
are.
don't just talk about it, do something. So,
Exactly,
so we're
exactly.
trying to bring people in to do something about it. So,
Yes, yes. Well, definitely. If you listeners, if you definitely want to learn more about that project, that nonprofit that Danny is developing, please reach out to him. See how you can be involved. If you're wanting to contribute to the efforts, if you want to partner with him on the efforts, and especially if you're wanting to, if you're out here, you're a professional, want to help with the funding, please help him fund the efforts, because those resources and really that service is needed to help people right where they are. Trauma, as we all know, is a subject that never goes away, and as we
mm,
have seen in these last few years, it really has been escalated, unfortunately, and people need that support um, in their situation now. All right. And so, Danny, before we go, is there any words of wisdom? And you've already given so much, but is there any words of wisdom specifically that you're wanting to share with listeners, viewers who have been through a traumatic situation, know of
yeah.
that type of situation, or have never related to that situation? What words of wisdom you want to leave
You
them with?
know what I would give you. Thank you, Shalina, for having me, and
You're
thanks
welcome.
for your kind words. Uh,
No,
what my motto is these days, and the message I try to get to people, is that life is a journey,
mm-hmm,
and wherever you are right now is just the next stop.
mm-hmm,
Right? Everything will work out. It's amazing. I've been around for a hot minute, and I can look back and see those places where I thought it was the end of the world,
yes,
and it turned out to be a transition
yes,
into a better place,
yes,
right? So life is a journey. We're just on the next stop. Never give up.
yes,
If you feel like giving up, take a time out, take a pause, and then
yes,
get back at it. Because if you have a dream, find your passion. If you haven't found it yet, figure that out. Try and get someone to help you figure that out, and work your passion. Because when you do that, then it's not work. It's what you love to do. It's what you were born for, right?
yes,
So find your passion, and take that journey.
yes,
It's a journey, and it'll be okay.
yes.
It'll be all right.
Yes. Danny, thank you so much for just reminding people to find their passion. A lot of times that gets restraint or constraint for people. They're kind of told, oh, no, don't go after that. Do this
No,
instead.
they're in survival mode, right?
There's
They're
survival.
trying to
Yeah.
please everybody, but
Yeah.
you got to be true to yourself. And if you can operate in your passion,
Yeah.
you'll know it, because you'll just feel so
Yeah.
complete. You'll feel so happy
Yes.
doing what you love, you
Yes.
know. And I would encourage you to do that. It'll make your journey a lot better.
Yes. I wholeheartedly agree. Listeners, viewers, your passion may be writing. If you've probably seen on some books or some poems or some artwork, maybe you like the performing arts like I do. Maybe you are a singer or love music like Danny. Whatever your passion is, don't be afraid, and don't allow people to keep you muffled in it. Because it may be the very thing that can bring healing to you in your situation. I know a lot of times professionals will say, hey, you need to see a therapist, hey, you need to be on medication, but that's not always the best solution. Sometimes a trigger for us could be a positive trigger, can be for us just being able to find an outlet that's positive and that
Right.
can meet us right where we are. So,
Yeah.
Danny, I really appreciate you taking time today on the streaming live edition of Fostered My Stories. Viewers, listeners, if you have any more questions, please leave them here in the comment section. I will read them to Danny. But in the meantime, I would love to say to you, the listeners, Danny, thank you so much for being on today.
Yeah.
But if also your upbringing, community service, or job connects you, like Danny, to the foster, adoption, orphan, or underserved community, I would love to have you on the Foster My Stories podcast. You can send over a guest request to the Fostered My Stories Gmail account, or right here on Facebook, right here under this page. You can send me a inbox message, and stay tuned. The full website for Foster My Stories is in development. It's going to be launching very soon. I'm super excited. It's going to have a lot of these interviews like Danny and some of my other guests on the website, and just projects. So make sure to tune in on special days and times concerning our live streaming. It could be on a Tuesday or a Sunday, like we're doing now, and for the official content that posts on Wednesdays of the week as well on any platform convenient for you. We have Red Circle, Spotify, Amazon Audible and Music, Radio Public, or Google Podcast. And also, you could catch these episodes on the Fostered My Stories Facebook page as well. There you can stay connected for upcoming guests and content. And remember to tell someone that today we learned with Danny that your past, although it may have been traumatic, your present, even though it may seem chaotic, and your future, although it may seem uncertain, is not over. You have resources, you have hope, and you have people out here who are wanting to connect you to uh, resources and programs that can help you right where you are. So remember to tell that to someone you know and take that for yourself. And remember, as always, being fostered, adopted, orphaned, or underserved simply means you're gracefully chosen. Uh, Thank you so much, user. I just saw that comment. And we appreciate you we appreciate all the listeners today. And you can watch this replay on the Fostered My Stories podcast live streaming page that you're watching on now. And stay tuned for more updates. Danny, is there anything else you want to say to the listeners?
Be encouraged.
Yes, yes. Simple. Be encouraged.
Be
That's a
encouraged.
daily effort, and what I had to learn to just take one step, one day at a time. A lot of people tell you to look at the big picture. Well, sometimes that can stress you out. So I encourage you to just take one day at a time, and we're here
Right.
for you.
Right.
Everyone, you have a dynamic rest of your day. Danny, thank you so much for being my guest. Everyone, have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.